All right, welcome back, everybody. I know no one's there just yet, but if you're watching this on the playback, welcome. It's been so long since I've done a live stream, so thank you for waiting and being patient. I moved house, which was always a fun thing to do, but I'm set up, and this is kind of like a semi-temporary live streaming thing I got going on right here. But anyway, I'll just make sure that everything's working. Just bear with me 1 second. Make sure that I am live. We should be good. It's just been a while since I've done this, and it's 37 seconds, and I don't know if it's working. So it looks like we might be online, which is great. I used to have oh, here it is. Found it. Used to have a live shortcut. All right, we are live. There we go. Awesome. All right, welcome back, folks. I just wanted to double check everything was working. So as you can see, I'm uploading again a lot more, which has been awesome. I've been able to schedule up quite a lot of cool stuff in the future again, so I'm back. Feels good. All right, I'll just let this kick in for a minute here. We got Daniel Berry Sports. Welcome, mate. Hope you're doing well. The Old Outlaw is here as well. All right, let me bring up these comments. There is a way I can put them on screen. I've just set this back up. Now, there's this thing that I'm testing something out, live streaming, and I'm not sure it's going to work extremely well tonight, but hopefully it will. We'll see how we go. So welcome, Daniel. Old Outlaw, how you doing, man? That's awesome. Thanks for joining in. John, welcome, mate. Hey, we got Will here. How you doing, man? Good to see you. It's been months since I've done a live stream. I think it's probably been at least 2 months. I would say almost minimum. It's been a long time. So yeah, now that I'm somewhere that I can actually do this nice and easily. Hopefully we can do more coming up. Priority is usually always doing, queuing up as much stuff as I can, but I want to definitely start doing more live streaming. So thank you. Dewey, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Matthew, is that how you say your name? Welcome, mate. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I thought we'd take some questions, chat about some gear stuff, and just whatever else. So there's no direction in my live streams. We just do it. So yeah, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining in. The room's a bit different. I'm shooting against a different wall. This is my camera wall that you usually see. The posters are on this side, but it's the best I could do for tonight. So I thought we'll give it a shot. Let us know if there's any issues with the video, the audio quality as well. Hopefully it's all good. I did a quick test before I went live, so just as a recording, and it looks like it worked. All right, set my Orange Rocker 30 off to get fixed. Far out, man. You can never tell with amps and stuff. Just expensive stuff can go bad, cheap stuff can go bad. I've had it all. I've had stuff made in the US that didn't last more than a couple of weeks, and stuff that was made in China the last 20 years, so it makes no sense. And vice versa, by the way. So yeah, hopefully they can fix that up for you. All right, the audio is a little low. I can bring that up. Not a problem. How about that? Thank you for the heads up. That's from the Old Outlaw. That should be heaps better now. I'm in the yellow, not in the green. I'll probably go for about half an hour tonight. This is just like a quick test live stream / Q&A hangout thing. Hopefully the next time we do this, I'll be able to play some guitar too. I've got a pretty cool setup with this audio interface here. We'll try and get some tones going on. I spent a little bit of time this week learning some new stuff. There was this recommendation for, I think he's a jazz player. There's a dude I've never heard of before. I might share it on my feed or up in the cards later on. And he was talking about the 2 scales he uses, I think, to play over, any chord, essentially, any major chord. And I was like, that's the exact sort of thing I need to hear or to learn. Like a really experienced player breaking it down into 2 types of patterns. And today I played over a 4-chord song, and I changed every time the chords changed and played in the right key. And it's easy. And I'm gonna work on it, and then I'll share my approach on it, because yeah, just to get out of the same old kind of formulaic stuff it's weird because I'm in the early days of learning anything new, you tend to play safe and you play within the notes of the scale, and you tend to well, at least for me, I try to drill the notes into my hand and into my head, but I'm already starting to hear ideas with it as well. I was like, oh, this is cool. So if I can find that, I'll post it in the comment section or in the cards a little later on. All right, let's see who we got here. Previous live stream was 20th of Feb. Wow, far out. 20 Feb, March, April. Wow, 3 months. That's crazy. I thought it had been a while, man. That old house was killing me. It was driving me crazy. Every time I go to live stream, it was loud. Every time I go to do anything, it was loud. It's great to be free of the handcuffs of that joint. All right, thank you, Will. I appreciate that, mate. We've got Electric Eel. Audio's great. Awesome. Thank you, mate. Now, this camera that I'm live streaming with, some people say it can overheat in half an hour, so we'll find out whether or not that's actually the case. Will says, what time is it there? It is 8 p.m. Just hit 8 p.m. right now. John says, welcome to all in the chat. Please hit the thumbs up button. Hey, thanks, man. Absolutely, guys. If you do enjoy my videos, even if you don't comment, drop a thumbs up. All that stuff really helps. You know, it's getting harder to reach people a lot of the time. I am finding now that I'm posting more again, it's helped heaps. I think it's going to start sort of being seen more, but yeah, all that kind of stuff. Any interaction helps, so thank you. Major and pentatonic. Yeah, basically. So, you know, over like an A chord, play the A major stuff, and then it was whatever the next chord was, and then it went to like an F sharp minor, play the minor stuff, and then it went to an E, I think, and I'd run the same note patterns across the E, and I was like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, you know, it's always about those doors that unlock. I've watched a few things recently where like a light bulb went off and I didn't have a guitar in my hand. Like it was just a recommendation late at night. I said, I'm going to come back to that because there's something there. And I watched it twice. And the weird thing was there was no context to how this guy uses it. I didn't even know the dude's name. But it was like if he's playing a major chord, he uses one of two scales. Obviously musically, right? But he breaks it down into really simple ideas that sound good. And that's how I'm geared. I'm not necessarily geared to think too technically. I just want something functional. And yeah, it was pretty cool. I just did my first couple of noodles with it earlier, and I was like, this actually sounds pretty cool. Will says it's 6 in the morning over there in Georgia. You're up early, mate. That's awesome. On a what days it'd be Saturday there now, right? Yeah. Floodland says it's cool to try and solo according to the chord rather than the key of the entire piece. It's challenging though. Yeah, I usually find like I can, if a minor chord is thrown in, I can noodle around it. Or in blues, it's a bit different because you can kind of play dominant or minor stuff. And I can follow the chords all right with that, but it's a mix of like major and minor when I'm playing blues over a dominant. But yeah, it really has changed the sound of the ideas. It's just like, oh, that's never come out before. And it's weird when you learn something new, you can kind of relate it to something that you've already previously done sometimes and you didn't realize. And I'm starting to see how a lot of players connect these ideas down different chords, but you've got to be present and understand what's going on too. So yeah, it's cool, man. It's super cool. Hey, Jara, welcome, mate. Jara Parry Music. It's a bit of a tongue twister. I like it. Welcome, mate. Hope you're doing well. It's jazz. Yeah, that's it. I think the country guys do a lot of that too, right? They're playing through all the chords. And yeah, it's just a good point of difference. I feel like, especially over tunes that aren't just like a seventh sounding chord, like an actual major chord. Yeah, it just completely changes the ideas. So I'm going to start throwing some stuff in pretty soon. It's good. It's good. It's always good to learn something new, even if I don't actively seek it out enough. I like to just get onto one idea that kind of makes sense and then mess with it for a while. Incorporate it, mess with it, and bring it into the playing before you move on to something else. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Throwing a flat 5-note, it's a ripper. Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Yeah, it's fun, man. Like the other day I was trying to learn some sort of heavier riffs. Certain light bulbs are going off with things now where it doesn't always happen, right? And there's plenty of things I don't understand. I'm not saying I know a lot about music, because I don't. But sometimes when I'm listening to something now and it's a song I know, I've been able to really I've been able to work things out the next morning. So without touching the guitar, watch a lesson, come back, and I'm pretty close to having it right with a few of the things I've wanted to learn. So hopefully you hear some more new stuff coming into the chops over the next few months. Again, I've got most of June already scheduled up, which is killer. And yeah, there's going to be some potentially a new face on the channel coming up too. Not Ben as well, but Ben's great. But I might have someone else guesting in on a video. And yeah, I've got some good plans potentially for hopefully in a few months' time. Matt says, hopefully that's how you say that. Matt blah says, "G'day Shane, is there a list of jam meetings?" You know what? There used to be online. I used to just type in like blues jams Melbourne, or open mic nights Melbourne, or whatever. And you'll usually find a website with information. I'm not sure if that's the case anymore. A lot of them are pretty old. I don't use Facebook, but I'm sure if you just type in Blues Jam Melbourne or Sydney or wherever you're from, you'll be able to find something. That's usually the easiest thing. I don't know all of them. I just go to the same one most of the time because I know everybody there. It's fun. So I got some hilarious news for everybody. I don't know if you saw the Melbourne Guitar Show video I posted. It was like a vlog going through the Melbourne Guitar Show. So at the end of that, I ended up breaking a tooth off, which I still need to get fixed. But I went to the dentist a few times to get some stuff assessed because I got a really weird sort of bite. And to get everything fixed, I had to give up Coke Zero. It was wearing away my teeth. So I have it maybe once a week, maybe twice a week tops, I would say now. 2 cans, that's it, with meals. That was my new limit. So I'm still having caffeine, but I've had to give up the cola and the Pepsi Max. Pepsi Max Fund was used to be the joke with the super chats and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's now, I've now given them up. Saving a fortune, by the way. It's crazy. I've got onto these little caffeine things you pop into water, and it's great. All right, I'll take some questions here. So Whitey 1960 says, "I've been picking up some real bangers from Australia the last few months." Terry from DevTech Audio. Cool, man. Richard Turner from Van Diemen's Audio. I don't know if I know that one. And Darren from Desertronics. Awesome. Yeah, man, his pedals are great. I was one of the first to put some stuff of his online. And yeah, he's great. I wish he was a little more proactive in, in getting his stuff out there because it's freaking awesome. His stuff's great. He's a real maestro in that. Yeah, he's one of the best. And there's no questions about it. His stuff is musical. It's beautiful. It's built stunningly inside as well. Oh, that's awesome, mate. Well done. That's cool. Simon says, I bet you get that a lot, right? Simon says, good to see you. Good to see you too, mate. Live at the UK Friendly Time. Hope you're well. Oh, that's great news. That's awesome. Yeah, I never know the times. Well, I do kind of, but I don't always think about it ahead of time. I just go live when works. I would like to do a more consistent live streaming thing, but it just comes down to how busy things are. So yeah, I should make time for it. It's if this all works, this is a piece of cake to set up. This is fantastic. John says, "Jam night video was great. How did the Eart go? Did you use it all night? Did you play it at telly?" I used it all night. I got to play 2 sets, and that was the second of the 2, actually, the one I posted with Bryant. It was great. I found the 10... So it's a 24 fret guitar. Sometimes when I get on them for the first time, you notice at the start of one of my solos, I was like 2 frets out. That's something that will happen on a new guitar when you're not used to it. But other than that, I just love the neck and bridge humbucker positions. I forgot about it. I left everything else out of that. You know, it's got 10 pickup positions. I used 2. That was more than enough. I'm almost considering taking it down to the shop and having all of that stuff ripped out of it and just make it a 3 pickup humbucker guitar, because that's all I really need. All those in-between positions. I'd rather just play something like a Strat if I want that kind of sound. But playability-wise, it was really good. Like, it's one of the nicest made guitars under $1,000 I've played in ages, or at least, you know, the US price of it. It's killer. No one told me the price, I wouldn't know. It was like, I think they're like $800. But yeah, it outplayed. Like, I got back on my Fender American Original Tele. Actually, there's a video coming up tomorrow about that, but it's funny how much better these other guitars play. I need a setup on a few of them as well, but yeah, man, that guitar was cool. It was really cool. Mr. Music says, guitar prices really have gone up, so $2,100 New Zealand for the new Player 2 Strat is way too much. Artist guitars are proof that Fender is overcharging, even if their classic vibe guitars are $1,200 NZ. So even $1,200 for a classic vibe is ridiculous. I reckon that's just way too much. They shouldn't be over $700-800 Australian dollars. That's where I think they're best sort of positioned. I totally agree. Like, on my video about cheap guitars suck, I think was the title or something like that. It's like they're better, right? They got better frets. They're lighter than they've ever been. I could play that guitars to gigs or on recordings or whatever. And funnily enough, I've got an A-B comparison with that artist guitar. I've already sent it back, but that artist guitar and my Tele coming up. And if you can hear a difference, you can let me know. And yeah, I feel the same way, man. Some of this stuff is Fender, obviously a household name. They're like the Apple of electric guitar or whatever. Everyone likes their stuff on the most part. But there's a lot of much better priced guitars that are arguably better to play. And I love classic vibes. I think they're great guitars. Plunger coffee, man. Yeah, maybe that's the way to go. I was talking about giving up caffeine before, but at least Coke Zero and all that kind of stuff. Beer only. Yeah, nah, not for me. Not a big fan. Hey, Mark's gas station. Welcome, mate. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, that's what I've been doing, man. So if I have a Red Bull, sugar-free Red Bull, I have a straw, which is a bit of a weird thing to get used to after 40 years of not doing it. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to you'll no doubt at some point in the next few months start to see me with things in to straighten my teeth. It's been a thing I've wanted to do for, I would say, 20 years. So I finally am in a position where I can start the process. And to get that tooth put back in over here that's missing, I can't do it until things are fixed. I got one option, so it's going to be a interesting 12 months. Anyway, I just thought I'd let you know. I don't know if it's obvious on the videos that I'm missing a front tooth, but anyway, doesn't hurt, which is good. Hey, we got Jamal here. Welcome, mate. Awesome stuff. Hope you're doing well. Super cool. Great to see you, mate. It'd be getting hot there right about now because it's getting cold here right about now. Do I play live using my Fender Hot Rod Deluxe amp? Do you recommend using an amp stand for Hot Rod Deluxe for live shows? So I've got a Blues Deluxe, and I've used that for, I don't even know how many gigs I've used that for, and jams, hundreds. So I don't like stands for amps. That's just me. I think it changes the bass response. I also don't really want it pointing up at me either. I prefer the sound going past my legs, which is, I guess, counterintuitive for a lot of people, but in some people's opinion at least. But yeah, I prefer an amp on the floor sound. Sometimes if they're low, stands, like almost like a guitar stand you put your guitar on. Those are okay. But I don't like something that's 1.5 feet off the floor. It just sort of isn't, yeah, it sort of takes away from the tone. It's sort of a bit intrusive too if you're trying to sing. Your amp's kind of smashing you, or someone else's amp is up at that level. I don't like it. So yeah, I would say try it without it and see how you go. I used to have oh, by the way, I had a Hot Rod Deluxe for years, but I had 2 of them, actually. I don't have them anymore, just the Blues Deluxe now. You must have got the last DMX 10 they had. I hopped onto their website with your link, and they didn't have any lefties. Yeah, you know what? There was a bit of a language barrier with them. Like, it wasn't awful or anything, but I wonder if they made that for me. I'm not 100% certain about that, but I feel like that could have been potentially what had happened, because they told me there were lefties, and they said, we've either got this one or this one. So I picked the DMX-10. It was either they only had one left or they made that specifically. I was a little bit confused with that. When I remember you left a comment about that, they were out of lefties. I was like, well, I just told they were lefties there, but yeah, I'm not too sure. What do I think of the newer Gibson ES-335s? Any opinions on the pickups? So the most recent ES-335 I played from Gibson was maybe 6 months ago at my old place. And that was the best of the Gibson 335s I played in ages. The pickups sounded great. They finally got rid of that dark, wet towel sound over the pickups that they've had for years. I think the early 2010s, they were atrocious. I haven't heard one from that period I like. I owned one. It sucked. I ended up A-Bing it against the Tokai, and the Tokai was like night and day better tone-wise. And they've finally got it right. Like, if I can, I'll link you that video after the fact, or just type in ES-335 in the blues, and you'll see that video come up. It was like the Gibson I always wanted when I got mine. I only bought mine because it was like the only one I found at the time, not knowing that it was a bit of a dog. But the new ones are pretty great. It's funny, I saw some Gibsons at Sky Music the other day. I was down there, I went to borrow some amps for the reviews and stuff. And I was like, man, they look pretty good. The 335s are pretty nice, mate. I've got a question for you. What's the best HS Telecaster for the price, according to me? I would say either a G&L ASAT Classic. In terms of if you're talking about, like, are you talking about Fender branded ones, or you G&L, or you name brand stuff, or what? Because there's plenty. I would say LSL is another one that would be high on my list. I played one of those at Jerry's Lefty Guitars, and that was beautiful. Had a humbucker in the neck and a single coil bridge pickup. G&Ls are pretty good. I actually played an affordable one of those tributes, I think they're called, while I was in Texas. I'll tell you what, it was so close to the one I owned, and I had a US one. It was very close to that G&L. So I would say give those two a look. If you're right-handed, you can probably get a whole bunch of stuff. What would be another one? Maybe I'll leave this to the comment section, because they're the ones that come to mind first and foremost. I picked up an early teens Mexican Strat for $250 at 2016. Now they're $600. Far out. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's not selling now, right? Like, one of the things I've noticed, I've tried to move a few things, and I don't know if everyone's just looking on Facebook Marketplace, and because I'm not on there, it's harder to get rid of stuff, but I have to basically give things away now when it comes to certain guitars or amps, because people aren't, I don't know, it feels like people have stopped buying it, but that price hike there is crazy, man. yeah, that's it. It's the same thing every year with minor incremental updates. That's what they're doing. That's the Fender way. Yamaha Revstar standards are awesome. I totally agree. RSC 20s, awesome. Hey, we've got Pork Chop here. Welcome, mate. Still digging the new Royal Flush? I am. It's still on my pedal board. My pedal board's right down there somewhere. Yeah, it's right behind me. It's great. It's super cool. I'm finding I'm enjoying the higher gain side with the new switch off, making it sound a bit more like the other one. Then the boost with the what's that? There's a switch on there. I can't remember what it's called, but it basically fattens out the tone, adds more gain. It's great. Yeah, it's 100%. They're both good though. I like the old one still because it's proved itself for like 7 or 8 years on my pedal board. It's very rare that like a new version of a pedal comes out and I like it as much or more than the one that I've been using forever. This doesn't happen. I'm still torn between, oh man, I love the original. I had both on my board for a while, but that felt a bit like overkill, too much royal flushage. So I took the old one off, and I think I've got a Klon style boost on there at the moment. I think that's what's on there. I'll have to double check. I was messing around with the pedal board the last few weeks. Hey, we've got Neil. Go Gold Teeth. We're doing it live. That's it. Thanks for joining in, man. Part of the reason that guitars are more in Z is due to import charges, 15% GST on items over 1,000, regardless of the item. Yeah, well, that's it. Plus, like, you know, the way the tax system works, everyone's getting taxed like 4 times, right? So the importer gets taxed, and then they have to pay import tax, and then they sell it and pay GST, and then the buyer pays the GST. It's kind of like, what? Anyway, it's crazy. How long do you think you do a live show for? First stumbled on the show after watching the review, the Fender Excelsior Amp. Very cool. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I was considering buying one. Thanks for that. Hey, no worries, man. I don't know how long I'll be live for. I just said at the start of this stream, I'm using a webcam that's supposed to overheat after about 30 minutes. So I'm going to try it. If it works for longer than 30 minutes, we'll stay here, but be probably another 15 minutes or so. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, the Fender Excelsior, that was one of those amps I didn't really need, but I love the idea of it, like a low watt tube amp. And I remember when I got it back home, all the same old story. Everything was rattling, all the valves were rattling. And back then you could get on eBay and buy like a new set of JJs for not much, like 70, 80 bucks or something. It wasn't much. So I just completely revalved it and it sounded awesome. No, but all that was cabinet rattles, which were actually the valves rattling. It was all gone, and it was a fun amp. I actually saw one of those Greta amplifiers recently while I was in Texas, a little red lunchbox amp. I had one of those as well. It's funny seeing those again. Oh, here we go. Change Strangers, welcome out. He says, got a Fender acoustic guitar on eBay auction. Beautiful handcrafted guitar from the Gold Coast. Wow, that's fantastic, mate. Yeah, they make great stuff. The Fender guitars are some of the nicest I've seen. They got their own unique kind of vibe going on too. Actually, oh, sorry about the comments here. I just what happened there? Oh, I used the scroll thing on my mouse. Hopefully that looks all right. What was I going to say? Yeah, I caught up with Aaron. Is it Aaron? Yeah, from Fennec at the guitar show and did an interview with him. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It was pretty cool. Hey, Jason, welcome, mate. He says he's a new subscriber. Love your work. A lot of your videos, especially the Saturday guitar shopping one. Keep up the good work. Hey, thank you, Jason. I have one more Guitar Search Saturday coming up. It's been these are those projects that take me forever to put together, but it's getting there, which is a good sign. The guys from the store, they're like, oh, how's the video look? I was like, yeah, it's coming together. It's coming together. I just had a bunch of stuff to finish. But it's, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. You'll see it coming up hopefully this month. Or not this month, May, but June. Clark says, been looking at the preloaded pickguards from Fender. Look good. What are your thoughts? Cheers. I think that's a good way of getting it in and making it easy. If you are not good with keeping everything tidy, that's the way to do it. I have no problems recommending that. I look at what I did with the lace sensor pickups on my guitar, which is right here. So under here, it doesn't look anywhere near as neat as you might think. I had the guy from Lace Sensor. He sent me a fully wired pickguard. I didn't work with him on that guitar. I purchased those things, but he wanted to send me like a hotter set to try. I still haven't tried them yet, and it looks beautiful. So yeah, I would say it's not a bad thing to get a fully wired pickguard. That's just me. There's some guys out there who want to spend the time and they can do it themselves and they're happy doing that. And if something doesn't work, they can troubleshoot it. If you're not that sort of dude, just, yeah, get a fully loaded pickguard. 99% of the time, I have complaints about everything else. I really notice good or bad pickups. You got a good amplifier, it makes a huge difference anyway. And any sort of volume drop you might find with one guitar, you can always turn up a little bit more. Hey, we've got a super chat here. Thank you, mate. $4. He says, Floodlands. Thanks, mate. Per character, exaggeratedly stretching his arms forward for a cup of coffee. Oh, is that a... I'm reading it like it... Okay, gotcha. I'm actually looking at it now. I was like, what does that mean? So it's the coffee thing. Thank you, mate. I'm a bit dense. I'm looking at my streaming software and not at the actual emoticon that it was posted there. Thank you. It's weird that it doesn't actually post the emoticon in here. But anyway, thank you again, mate. Thanks for the support. All right. Let me just scroll back up. What part of Australia? I'm in Melbourne. Nectarios says, I still feel that for live performances, tube amp is the way to go regardless of the music you play. I just think a good amp is great for live performances. I don't care what it is. Solid state, valve, doesn't matter. I still think the feel of most valve amps will outweigh the feel of most solid state amps. But I played the Bandit at a festival and a gig on one day, and it was awesome. I didn't think twice about it, other than I was really enjoying the tone. So a good amp is what you want. It doesn't matter. You know, when I was in San Francisco years ago, I played with a Fender, I think it was like a Princeton, but it was a solid state version. It was great. It was really cool. And if you got good pedals or you got your sound sorted out, a clean channel is all you really need. And that's kind of what I look for most of the time. Floodland says he's got a AIO Wolf ES-339 copy. Oh, a small version of the 335. Very nice, mate. That's awesome. I'd love to find a smaller ES-335 or a 339 Epiphone, but they don't make them in Lefties. I don't know why. I love my tube amps. Seriously, my favorite amp right now is a Yamaha acoustic amp, THR5A. The clean channel is incredible. There you go. Awesome stuff. Yeah, it makes it feel fun when you get a great tone. You just plug in even a small amp like that. It's great. Jamal says, I believe there's an oversaturation of gear from the 2020 lockdown rush. I totally agree. Ironically, I now think I'd like to move some guitars and pedals on and just play what I love. Yeah, it's a good place to be there, I reckon. I don't know. Some people love collecting stuff. I'm sort of in the middle. I don't mind having a few amps to choose from and probably too many guitars, but I always tend to bring it back to the stuff I always play at the end of the day. Most of the things that are sitting around, I have intentions to move on, or I eventually move on. So yeah, I think everybody bought too many instruments or pedals or, you know, cameras or whatever it was around that time. Everyone was shopping. A lot of people were buying stuff, and it was the biggest sales I think a lot of these guitar companies had around that time. Blackstar HT1 for home use and my Hot Rod Deluxe for band. Awesome. Some of the small, I don't know that exact one, but I've tried quite a number of Blackstar amps over the years, and some of their small ones are great. Oh, no, not really, mate. I don't know who told you that. So David says, is it true that every Australian musician has been a member of AC/DC at one time? I would say that's a hard no. That's funny. I've never heard anyone say that, or, you know, say that's a thing. It's probably a bit like the Allman Brothers, right? Everyone's played with the Allman Brothers. It might be one of those kind of jokes. I'm not too sure. What day do they have the Blues Jam at Lyrebird Lounge? I've been down to the open mic nights. Love to check out the Blues Jams. It's on Sunday afternoons. Yeah, just punch it into Google. It'll give you all the details. So yeah, Sundays, is it 4 till 8 o'clock, which is great. It's like mid-late afternoon to not too late. Yeah, I'm no good at wiring. Yeah, I'm only good at sort of like fixing simple things. I don't like putting together pickups from scratch. If there's already pickups in there, I can switch them out, but it never looks as nice as it did before I got my hands on it. Oh, you're welcome, Shane. How you doing, man? Sorry, I was trying to work out what that meant, and now I get it. Dilemma: new pickup for my Tally, or sub out my stock speaker in the Blues Deluxe. What would you prioritize? The speaker. Unless there's something that totally sucks about the pickups, like they're microphonic or something like that, then I would probably prioritize that. But the Blues Deluxe speaker kind of sucks. It's too bright, it's got too much bass, and it's not nice. At least it wasn't when I bought my two Blues Deluxe amps over the last sort of 10 years or so. I would say do that. It's a no-brainer. That makes such a huge difference to the sound. And again, unless something's microphonic where you can't play with drive without it squealing, then 100% change the pickup. But yeah, I would do that. AP530 says, I have a classic 550 Strat with the DiMaggio tone bridge and Area 58 in the middle. Very cool, mate. Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking at getting like a project kind of guitar for testing out pickups and all that kind of stuff this year. I'm going to probably sort one out through Artist Guitars. I probably should have bought that one John got, the Strat. I probably should have bought that one, but yeah, it's cool to sort of mess around with that. I've heard good things about these DiMaggio ones. Awesome. Some microphonic pickups can be cool. Yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't come across one that I actually like. Or it depends. Maybe it's good for playing clean, but as soon as you click the distortion on or the overdrive and you get this like god-awful squeal that makes all the dogs bark. Yeah, that's not good. Come on, John, I'll swap you. I'll swap you for my Gibson Flying V. Actually got that out again the other day. I need to set up something shocking. Hasn't been played for so long. Any thoughts about a revised review of the Harley Benton CST24 line since they've revamped those guitars? The Lefty Purple Burst is very tempting. I don't know, man. I haven't really heard too much from Toman with all that kind of stuff in ages. The last time they sent me some stuff, it was a bit of a nightmare. It's supposed to... Anyway, there was... Not because of the guy that works there or anything. It was just getting them into the house was a nightmare. So... Yeah, I spend a lot of time replying to emails and then nothing happens, so I've just sort of like given it a miss. It is what it is. Hopefully, at some point, I'd love to try them. I think those CST24s were a killer. Lincoln says, Keys to the Guitar Shop coming back. That was a great series you guys did. Yeah, I think so, mate. I'd love to do more of those. It's a great project to do when I've got enough time to put it together. Not to sound too busy or anything, but it's such a huge project. I'd love to be able to just sort of get like a live room recording rather than the way I did it. Everything was mic'd up, so I'm doing all the audio production side of it. It's a huge job. The great news is like Rhiannon can help with live switching, which is awesome. I've got a convenient way of doing that, so that cuts down the setup time. But it's like an hour and 30 minutes to set up before we actually play, and then you got to pull it all down, and it's just a massive job. So I would love to do more of those. I'd actually really like to get Ben in on a few as well. His playing is so good. He's such a nice dude too, so easy to work with, and yeah, eventually I want to do more of those. Yeah, funnily enough, like, because I was moving, I went overseas, and then I came back, I had to catch up on all my stuff. I hadn't been down to Sky Music that much until just the other day. So once I've got a few little things I need to finish. I want to finish Guitar Search Saturdays. Once that's out of the way, I'll see if I can lock one in with the guys. That would be super cool. Do I ever fish? I used to when I was younger, man. I used to love it. Absolutely. Yeah, I used to live on the coast here. So, yeah, I used to go snorkeling and scuba diving and surfing and bodyboarding and all that kind of stuff. Fishing. We had an old boat when we were kids, so it was awesome. Speaking of owning gear, I actually just reached out to Gibson Custom Shop to build me a Hendrix 69 Flying V. Oh, they couldn't build you one. What, a custom shop couldn't build you a guitar? How does that work? Isn't that the whole point of a custom shop? They're making a custom guitar, right? Oh, man, that sucks. That's crazy. Just Trav says, got any guitar pedal reviews forthcoming? Can you give us any clues and hints? I can. Yeah, I'm happy to let you know what's coming up. So I'm, again, several weeks ahead of what you're seeing, finally. It's a good place to be. So I've got some guitar. I've got an Australian guitar coming up on the channel that isn't mine, but it's not a sponsored video or anything like that either. One of my friends bought it, so that'll be coming up. I got some guitar comparisons. I've got some amp comparisons coming up. Some less expensive, affordable effects pedals again, or stuff that's like sub $50. I've got some amp videos that are slightly different. So instead of just doing my usual review, I'm trying something different with these videos. And then I'm trying out one of the new Marshalls. Oh, that's where we'll leave it. So yeah, I've got until June 29th pre-scheduled, and there's stuff I'm going to slot in amongst that as well. So, man, it feels good to have just an easy workflow again. It's changed my whole productivity. I'm actually editing a couple of less expensive. Oh, I'm getting the heat warning. Oh, no. That's not good. All right, which might mean it ends up overheating on me. I'll quickly take this super chat here. Hey Shane, I run a Red Stripe PV Bandit with the Eminence Texas Heat. Do you think I should get a second one for stereo or use a different amp? Well, that's up to you, man. And thanks for the super chat. There's nothing wrong with running two identical amps and having like a different speaker in each. If you're going to get another one, maybe put a Swamp Thing speaker in from Eminence or anything else, something else that you like. It's going to be pretty cool having two different voicings. You can have one with like a clean sound, the Texas Heat maybe with the drive sound or whatever. You can absolutely rock out like that. Or keep the same speaker in both. But yeah, that's super cool. That's super cool. Thanks again, mate. I used to run two Hot Rod Deluxe amps in stereo for a while, but I was always getting like electrocuted on the microphone, so I stopped it. But it's fun doing that. It really is. There's no real rule to it. I would just say keep the amps similar in terms of their output volume. It's a lot easier to balance. All right, this thing's about to overheat. I can see that it's about to shut down. How long have we got? We've got 43 minutes here, which is pretty good. I'll go until it blacks out, and then I'll have to probably stop. The good news is, though, you should be able to hear my voice while it does that. Anyway, thank you again, mate. Thanks, Wiggins. They said they no longer have a deal with the estate. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Oh, is that in relation to another comment I missed? Sorry, mate. Hang on. What hobbies do I do that's not music related? Well, up until a few months ago, I was going to the gym. Oh, there it is. So you can probably... All right, there we go. How about that? We'll go over to the webcam. Is that working? I'll let that cool down, then we'll turn it back on. So now you're looking at my back wall. Or side one. Anyway. So, yeah, gym was definitely... Where am I? I'm over here now. going to the gym was definitely one of my things for a long time. It really kept me balanced. I like walking a lot. I still do a lot of that. I'm into photography and video. It's kind of like a bit of a passion of mine as well. Like doing all that kind of filmmaking stuff, anything to do with, you know, that whole thing is great. I love horror movies and whole documentaries and all that kind of stuff as well. I don't have too many like sporting hobbies or anything anymore. Weights was kind of important to me for a while, but I ended up tearing my tendon in my forearm ages ago, and it just took so long to heal. And I'm at the point where I'm back to being almost back to normal, so I need to start get my ass back into gear again. But yeah, with all the sitting down I do, it's kind of important for me to lift some things from time to time that isn't just getting an amp in and out of the studio. I love traveling too. Like traveling for me is like one of the best things going. I love it. But I love going to the beach and all that kind of stuff as well. Oh, so we've got Ormsby, future purchase for me for sure, or a Maton. There you go. Very cool, mate. Yeah, the Ormsbys are a bit too metal for me. I totally get they're beautiful guitars. There's nothing wrong with them, but yeah, not quite up my alley musically, but I really appreciate their quality. Like they're fantastic. And the Matons are always good. No problems there. Tom says, try the 40th anniversary Squire limited edition classic vibe on steroids. If you can get your hands on those, they're amazing. They're really cool. Yeah, I think Ben helped me with the Telecaster one back in the day. Actually, I think he did both. There was like a blue one with an anodized gold pickguard. I can't remember what color the Strat was, but yeah, they were really nice guitars. Very bright, I think, on the Strat had a real glassy kind of sound. Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry, man. Yeah, I wasn't too sure what you meant. Alternative webcams. I can't believe that overheated, man. Sony make crap. Anyway, I usually use my Lumix stuff, but this was like, I could just plug it in and have it work, so I thought I'll give it a shot. I've never used it before. My hobby is collecting hobbies. Yeah, nice. Yeah, Squire, definitely. I mean, they kind of have to. At some point, Fender and Squire and everyone else are going to have to start using, you would think, have to start putting in stainless steel frets, right? Like, how can they not do that at some point in the future? Their name can hopefully only carry them so far before they decide that, you know what, it might be time to build these so you never have to worry about the frets again. I would love to see that from them. That'd be great. And that's not to say they're bad guitars, because they're not. I used to play classic vibes. I had a 60s one and a 50s Tele. The Gibson. The Flying V belongs to Gibson. Yep. I think it's something to do with Hendrix LLC, if I had to guess. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's how I'm supposed to fix this. There's no way I can like lock this is that crappy computer webcam. I don't know if I can set it so it doesn't, it looks like it's flashing or something. See when I move my head? Anyway, it'll be all right. We'll get back onto the other one for a few minutes once it cools down. It's getting there. All right, I'm glad it defaulted to that, because I totally forgot this even has a webcam in it. I never use it. All right, so what else have we got? I posted a video the other day about the new Kemper that's coming out and all the questions about that. It's interesting to see how many people actually commented on that, and it still seems like there's this weird stigma for digital stuff. Even though, like, people, one of the comments I always see anytime I posted something about a Kemper or a digital modeling device or whatever, people are like, oh, I'll never get rid of my tube amps. It's like, yeah, you don't have to. I'm not going to do that either. Like, it's not about that. It's about efficiency with recording and using a tool in a different way. It's funny how that's still one of those sort of, even in 2025, they're still like, oh, I would never do this. You know, it's hilarious. All right, cool. All right, looks good. All right, thanks. Yeah, I just can't move my head, otherwise it flashes out the... is it this way? I don't know. Anyway, who cares? Electric Eel says, pull the trigger on the Sonicake Matribox Pro 2 red hot sound shaping machine. Yeah, they are. They're great. Well done. Yeah, they make good stuff. I'm glad you're enjoying it, man, because they all sound so good now. Especially like... One of the things that a lot of digital modeling units used to really sort of not be great at was clean tones. They never felt that great under the fingers. Now they really do. I've started noticing a difference between, I think, what was the last one that I tried? Was it the Hot Tone Ampero 2 Stomp, I think it's called. And that was great. I was like, that's the sound of a deluxe reverb. And I listened to like my Kemper and all that stuff through my studio monitors, and I was like, man, it's felt great to play. Like, if I go to Jerry's Lefty Guitars again coming up, I might just take that. It will save my ears. It's so easy to get a consistent tone. It's just great. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But all these things, the Sonicake stuff's great also. I think I've reviewed most of their stuff, so well done. That's great. Kemper dies, no fix. 70-year-old amp dies, can be fixed. Well, yeah, you're right, but not everything. You're also not 100% right, because it's made in Germany and they're gun engineers who could fix it for you. Maybe not in 70 years, but you're not going to be around in 70 years, so who cares? 15 years those units have been out, and you very rarely see anyone going, oh, this is broken down. Oh, they're just built by great engineers, and it's a completely innovative space. I love what they do. It really is great. That's why I went back to it. Like the Kemper for me is all about being able to record my sound, not necessarily having someone else's tone. I can set up all my gear, set up the Kemper, hit profile, and that's the sound that you'll hear is my gear. And for me, that's kind of cool. I get it. Not everyone likes the digital stuff. I totally get that. And not all stuff is created equal. You can have old amps that sound great that are completely unreliable. Think a Vox AC30. That'll be back at the shop every friggin' 5 months. I had a Kemper for a decade. Finally let it go last year and picked up the Nano Cortex. Very cool. I also have the new Synergy... SY, I don't know what that is, in the effects loop of the Axe FX3. Cool. I haven't tried the Nano Cortex or Axe FX3. I see a lot of that on Brett Kingman's channel, who I watch. But yeah, I haven't actually tried one. I'd like to give one of those a shot at some point. Yeah, it's weird, like for me now the digital stuff's just convenience for recording, where I don't want to blast my ears out all the time. You get a good profile on the Kemper or whatever, and you're sorted. It's great. It doesn't matter what you're recording with. I would argue that you can get better recordings through most of that stuff now than most people can get miking up an amp, because of the experience level needed to capture great guitar tones. If you're not an audio guy, you'll struggle to get a great guitar sound, whereas if you plug into one of those units, whatever brand, you can get a really great sound. Same with the Axe FX, all that stuff. It's just a really handy way of recording. I have a Helix, but the Kempers also sound great, so it really comes down to what you like. Yeah, I think, at least from my understanding, right, the Helix is more about building a sound from scratch, whereas for me, the Kemper is all about having your own sound. That's why, that's why touring artists will use it, because they've got their sound. As I referenced on my Kemper rundown thing, it was like Knopfler used them because he could profile all of his amps. get his sound and he's ready to go. And that's important. Some people don't have their own sound. They might not be live players and it doesn't matter as much, but I've always had a similar sound ever since I knew what I liked. And if I can get that on a recording, I'm happy. Whether or not anyone else likes it or not, it doesn't matter. I'm able to get my own sound, so for me that's more important than having a million options. I don't use a lot of that stuff. Thinking of trading some stuff in for a Katana. They're good amps, man. They're pretty solid. It's all like they solve a problem, those amps. They're like affordable. They've got heaps of great tones in there. You can keep it simple, or of course you can dig in there and go crazy with all the tones. But they've got good quality speakers, and yeah, they're good. Probably the most sold amplifier, if I had to guess. I would argue they're probably, or I would predict maybe that they're the most popular amplifier. I think it used to be Blues Juniors once upon a time, but I don't think so. I think Boss have just like killed them with that stuff. It should be all about the playing. Yeah, 100%. And anything that comes out, like, you know, I made a comment on a video I made on a different channel. It was about camera gear. And it's like, it took me a while to realize that I'm not the target audience for every thing that is ever released. And a lot of people think they are. They think I'm important and this has to be for me, otherwise it sucks. And there's a lot of crossover there with certain things in the guitar niche as well, where, you know, people make the assumption that because they don't need it or like it or need to use it, that it's bad. And it's like, that's not the right outlook. So yeah, it all comes down to playing and being able to use things for things that work for you. That totally makes sense. AP530 says, I'm building an ISO box to put a 112 cab or a 18 cab in that should run off Blackstar. Not too loud, still got a tuba amp sound. I like using plugins and digital pedal boards for blending tones. Very cool. Now, interestingly enough, with the 12-inch speakers in an ISO box, they still give you quite a lot of low frequency, so just be careful. I'm sure you know what you're doing. I had a Randall isolation cab years ago, and I found it attenuated the sound massively. But the acoustic noise of the cabinet, the hinge noise, everything would slightly buzz. I ended up padding it full of acoustic foam, essentially. Just kept buying like all this acoustic foam and just shoving it in there. And that helped. And then I found the 2 notes Captor X, and I just went, oh, yeah, it was like night and day. It was dead silent. And the trade-off was worth it. So I would say an 8 or a 10-inch speaker tops, just based on my experience with those over the years. An 8, I don't know how an 8-inch speaker would sound in a cab, but the 10 would probably be the sweet spot when it comes to just cabinet resonance or acoustic volume of the box. Because when it was a 12-inch one, my neighbors could still hear it upstairs at my old place. I was trying to find a really, not at my previous house, but a long time ago, like 10, 15 years ago. It was like you could still hear it enough, and it was not dead quiet. So yeah, just experiment around. If you can, find the best hinges you can as well if you're building one, because any, like if the hinge has a pin through it and it rattles, it'll drive you crazy. yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's funny like that. It's just funny how like people are so opinionated on everything. Again, I was like that for a long time too. I thought if it's not for me, it's crap. Then I realized, hang on a sec, it's pretty narrow-minded. And one day I just went, oh, there's all this other stuff out there. Now I get it. I was the same. I was like, I'm not using any of this digital stuff. And now it's at a point where I can record my tone without having to do anything. And it sounds exactly the same. I'm like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I wouldn't have chosen that, or I wouldn't have even chosen like playing different brands of guitars 10 years ago. I was like, I'm just playing the ones that I know and like. Going to Jerry's Lefty Guitars is always fun because it's like he's got all these different brands. It's not just the same old like Fender and Gibson kind of stuff. And it's like, oh man, yeah, now I get it. Now I get these other brands. I wouldn't have looked twice at a few of them, but some great stuff out there. Just bear with me one sec. Hey, Heidi, how are you? Hi all, what's your opinion on the Novo guitars? Are they guitars a hype or are they worth the money? Are you talking about the ones with the speakers built in? Is that what you mean, or is there something else? Let me have a look. Novo guitars. Actually, you know what? I don't know what these are. I don't know if I can share this with you, unfortunately, right now, but yeah, they're expensive. Holy crap. $4,000. Or $4,500. So, you know what? I don't know. I don't want to say they're good or bad, but they look fine. I just haven't played them. I thought you might have been talking about something else, but yeah, Novo guitars. Don't know them. I'll have to look into them. But yeah, if they're handmade, they're probably pretty cool. Got any new songs or albums you've been digging on lately? What have I been enjoying lately? Let me have a look. I tend to listen to like, what have I? Let me have a look. See if I can actually find anything. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I tend to listen to a lot of the same stuff all the time, but let me just see if there's any sort of cool stuff in my history here with music. A lot of the stuff I've been watching lately are like guitar concepts and ideas and stuff like that. I don't think I've been listening to anything like new or exciting necessarily when it comes to stuff I just found. Occasionally I'll hear some, actually there was one really great band. It was on the Jam in the Van. I mean, like, some of that stuff I really like. Check out that YouTube channel. There's some really great artists on there. But yeah, sorry, I can't really just think of something off the top of my head right now. Speaker swapped my Marshall 5C with a Jensen Falcon 8. Very interesting 8-inch tone. Very cool. Yeah, Jensen's stuff is really cool. Yeah, the digital stuff has come a long way. Or the world. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, okay. I don't watch that dude. Yeah, I mean, they're probably, by the sounds of it, it sounds like the manufacturers are getting some stuff out there, which is always a good thing. Gets, in the hands of players and they get to try new things, all that kind of stuff. So that's cool. But yeah, how long have we been going? An hour. I might wrap this up in a bit. If anyone has any last questions or whatever, just let us know. Thanks for joining in. I know I haven't done a live stream for yonks. I think it's 3 months, John said. So yeah, it's been forever. But again, if you've joined late or whatever, I've got heaps of stuff coming up for June. Pretty much the whole month's done, minus Guitar Search Saturdays. And then I'll see if we can get a Keys to the Guitar Shop series or video done again, because it's definitely on the radar. Oh yeah, JD Simon, he's great. Videos lately trying to get better at slide. He's a great player, absolutely. It's funny, I can't really think of too much. Sometimes I'm like, even in bed listening to stuff, and I just can't find anything in my. It's funny how many videos. I don't know if this is just me or not, but I listen to stuff while I'm doing other things too. I might be cleaning up this pigsty in here, just let it run, and then 50 things will go by and I don't even realize. So yeah, the history is crazy. I'd like to be able to share some stuff with you. Maybe on the next one I'll go through my list of stuff I'm listening to and see if I can find something cool to share with you. But yeah, JD's a monster, mate. He's great. Been listening to Dogma, great hard rock metal stuff. Cool. All the band's girls are dressed like sexy satanic nuns. Maybe. What? I guess that's nuns, right? I guess that's supposed to say. That's hilarious. I'll have to check that out. That's great. Yeah, I don't think I've really been listening to like anything too new. I did listen to Buddy Guy's new album, actually. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I just don't think I've been listening to much else. The only one thing I've been doing, I've been going back and listening to a lot of there's like a Lightning Hopkins video that's been posted online, which is great. There's a concert of Albert Collins. I've been going back through some of that. I know these are like standard kind of things. There's a Albert Collins lesson video that's up. It's got some live playing. It's got some breakdowns of what he's doing and how to kind of play it with standard tuning. And that was really cool. Yeah. Thoughts on using the Kemper live? I've been in a cover group now using it live and I'm blown away, but now I'm headed down other rabbit holes to tweak it. I think the important thing with using anything plugged into a PA system is that the PA system has to be great. You need a sound guy. You need someone who can mix it properly and give you some fallback. If you're bringing a powered speaker with you and all that kind of stuff, you might as well bring an amp. There's not much of a benefit to the Kemper in that regard. I always think you're at the mercy of the front of house. I've tried them. I brought my Kemper to a gig, plugged it in, and the front of house speakers were not great. One of the tweeters was gone, and the fallback was awful, and it was a world of pain. So you bring your own fallback or something like that if you have to. As long as you can hear it, you'll be fine, and someone can take care of the front of house. But yeah, I always think those things for live players are best suited for controlled conditions is the best way to say it. But yeah, if they can sound amazing if it's all set up properly. If you're playing a pub PA system that sucks, it's not going to be fun. Hey, thanks, man. That's a good idea. I might have to do that. If you are on Instagram, you want to follow me on there, it's just @InTheBlues with a underscore after it, because I think I had In The Blues and then I cancelled Instagram and then I started it again. So I ended up losing it. But yeah. Oh, that's super cool, mate. Look at that. I saw Albert Collins at Festival Hall, Melbourne, back in late 80s. Awesome show. Very cool, mate. That's so cool. I would have loved to have seen him live. He's such a, he's the master of the Telecaster, but he's also like the vibe king. Just a really great talent. He's got such a unique way of playing too. This breakdown video I was talking about is, it's quite eye-opening, his approach. It's unlike anything I'm used to sort of seeing. He's got these hammer-ons and just really interesting ideas that I don't think of, and I don't think anyone else has ever really nailed his tone. Or not tone, the sound of him, the attack. Super cool. New Cardinal Black record is really great. Oh, very cool. Nice. Yeah, I don't know them, but it's always good getting some recommendations. I always listen to the same old stuff. But yeah, I go down these weird sort of phases where I'll listen to. I love watching live clips. There's one of my favorite channels on YouTube is Antrance Dance, it's called. Or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but she posts the best live shows. That's how I found out about Chris Kane and all these other guys. And she posts just Natasha posts videos all the time. She's great. And I could just go through like a few hours of finding stuff on there. It's super cool. All right, guys, we might wrap this up. Thanks for hanging out. I'll just take this last question here. Rob, sorry, mate, I missed your question. He says, Shane, have you ever Hendrixed a Righty guitar so you could play it? Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to. No. The reason is, I'm going to do this back to front, but the way I play, I'm always knocking the tone and volume controls. I can't work it out. My posture is only used to this. So yeah, that was a wrong chord, but yeah, I've never been able to do that. I've tried playing right-handed guitars upside down, and I'm forever knocking my forearm just keeps turning my volume up and down and stuff. So yeah, it's not worked for me, and there's so many great lefties available now that I'm happy doing that. Dude, you're an Iron Man. Watched you last night with Peter. Now you're live. Hey, thank you, mate. I watched your I found your channel, actually. It was one of those things where I wasn't sure how to either, I don't know. I found it today. I wanted to actually send you a message on Instagram. So I think we're connected on there. If you can, shoot me a message, if you don't mind. And I've got a suggestion for you. We're talking about all that stuff we were talking about a few weeks ago. So that'd be great. Cool. Welcome, mate. And guys, go check him out. He's got some great and unique videos. Going to miss Buddy Guy in Niagara Falls next Friday because of woman problems. It sounds like a blues song, man. Come on. You gotta write some lyrics. Didn't get to see Buddy Guy. Hey, thank you, Heidi. Oh, far out, man. Jeez. Hey, thank you so much. That's insane. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for all the support over the years too, Heidi. You're awesome. Thanks to everyone else too. I mean, everybody here I've seen many times in the live streams, in the comment section, all that kind of stuff. So thank you. Thanks again, Heidi. Thanks to all the super chats and people dropping comments and all that stuff. We had Heidi. Thank you again. NL. Is NL, you're going to have to, is that the Netherlands? Is that what that stands for? You just let me know, because I feel like a dummy when it comes to Europe. Sometimes. We had Wiggums, thank you, mate, and Floodland. I do appreciate it. Thanks to John for being in the chat and Shane for moderating and all that kind of stuff. I do appreciate it. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. There's no video going up tonight, but again, every 2 to 3 days for the rest of the month, or rest of June, I should say. Already scheduled. This is amazing. All right, guys, take care. It is Netherlands. Awesome. That's the best part of the world. I'm almost convinced, minus the weather. It's a beautiful part of the world. All right, everybody, take care. Thank you again, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.